Hey everybody, Ryan here with Ray's latest. Sorry, been away for a while. I've been traveling a little bit. I was up in Pennsylvania for this past couple of days. Now I'm back home and just kind of soaking in as much Rays baseball as I can over the past couple of days. And obviously there's a lot to talk about. From things that I've seen, kind of things that have caught my eye over the first couple of days. And I'm just excited to see kind of what you guys think as well with everything that's gone on over the last four games. Obviously, opened up on the road this year due to the kind of delayed start with the Trop. So we won't be at home until next week or this coming week. Opened up the season in St. Louis. St. Louis, one of the lesser teams in Major League Baseball. I think they have like the 27th best odds to win the World Series this year. So nothing too crazy. From a roster standpoint, especially their pitching staff is not very good. The game, however, was quite interesting. It was we were down 1-0. JJ Weatherholt had a phenomenal game against us. Hit a homer in the third, then Aranda turned around in the fifth and hit a homer as well to tie it up 1-1. And then in the sixth inning, some things kind of just fortunately went our way. Infield singles or two infield singles, some sac flies, things like that. Kind of just singled them to death per se. We ended up scoring 6 runs in the sixth inning there. Everything was looking good. It was 7-1. Rasmussen was looking good. And then everything kind of just fell apart after that. Rasmussen went 5, 1 earned, 4 hits, gave up a homer to Weatherholt, but that's okay. His ERA to start the year is a 1.8. And then in the sixth inning, after we scored six, we turned around and gave up 8 to go down 9-7. And then the game kind of just fizzled out from there. But the thing I want to talk about mainly in this game is Ian Seymour. So Ian Seymour had a very difficult outing. He currently has an infinite ERA, which means you did not record an out and gave up runs. He gave up 5 hits and 5 earned in 1 inning. Or didn't even record an out, so 0 innings technically. Through 21 pitches, 14 of them were for strikes, so it wasn't crazy. He ended up facing 5 batters, threw three first pitch strikes to those 5 batters. It was just more of a barrel fest for him. It was single, single, sack fly, Burleson homer. So it's kind of just you get set up in the situation where you have the bases loaded and they go back to back singles. And then you get sack fly to score those runs to make it. You give up 5 at that point, and then 2 run homer turns, or you give up six at that point, and then Burleson ended up hitting a homer later in that inning as well, which was given up by Garrett Clevenger and Griffin Jacks, who they both came in and performed well. I mean, Clevenger had a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned, but he threw 9 pitches and threw 7 strikes. Griffin Jacks threw 14 pitches and 11 strikes, giving up a hit and a homer as well. So it's one of those things where the pitching staff wasn't necessarily just walking the house and just kind of all over the place. It was more they're just getting hit, which in Clevenger and Jax's case, that's a little unordinary, just solely based on the fact that those are two of the more premier relievers, I would say, in baseball. They play for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic this year. People know who they are, and it's more of a electric, good stuff from them. So them getting hit around a little bit was a little bit of a surprise, but we ended up losing opening day, turned around in the Saturday game against the Cardinals. We were down 4-0 early through 8 innings, and then in the ninth inning we turned around and scored 4 to tie it up. And in the 10th, we went ahead, went up 5-4, and then JJ Weatherholt crushed our dreams again in the bottom of the 10th and had a 2 RBI walk-off single. Joe Boyle looked good. 2 earned, 6 innings, 75 pitches, 52 of them were for strikes. Stolzer came in and threw 2 innings out of the pen. His strike numbers were a little down, 41 total pitches, 23 strikes, kind of hovering around that 54, 55-ish percent rating there. So nothing too crazy. Did have 2 Ks as well. Baker, 1 inning out of the pen, 2 Ks. Griffin Jacks came in another third of an inning, gave up a hit and a run as well. 9 pitches, only 3 strikes there. So his start to the season has been a little bit of a struggle for him there. But on Sunday, turned it around with 11-7 win. DeLuca had a fantastic game where he hit a double, scored on a wild pitch. Aranda doubled, Mullins doubled, Diaz with a single, Aranda another hit, Mullins sac fly, Carson Williams sac bunt, Yanni Diaz another single. Yanni Diaz that game ended up going 5 for 6 with 4 RBIs. Aranda went 3 for 6. Simpson went 2 for 4. DeLuca went 2 for 5. Ben Williamson went 2 for 3. Carson Williams 1 for 3. Fiducia 1 for 1. And Steven Matz had a decent outing. It wasn't anything crazy. 81 total pitches, 50 strikes, 5 innings, 4 earned, 6 hits, only 2 Ks. Kevin Kelly looked good out of the pen. Clevenger kind of bounced back a little bit. Had 2 walks though, but didn't end up giving up any runs. Mason Engler did have 3 earned on 3 hits out of the pen in the inning he pitched. And then Baker again, 1 inning, no runs, no walks, no Ks, just getting outs. 10 pitches, 8 strikes. So that looked good from him there. And then today turned around and played the Brewers on the road again, where we ended up winning 3-2. Yandy homered in the first at bat of the game. Contr- Sorry, Contreras turned around in the bottom of the sixth, hit a 2-run homer. Then DeLuca homered and Fortes doubled. Yandy Diaz went 2 for 4 today with a homer, bringing his season at batting average up to 550. Aranda went 0 for 3. He's hitting 375, so nothing really too crazy there. Junior went 2 for 4 today as well, bringing his average to 286. Ben Williamson, he went 0 for 4 today. His average is still 385. DeLuca, 1 for 3. Fortes, 1 for 4. Both of their batting averages are 417. Chandler Simpson went 1 for 4. His batting average is 400. And to the surprise of a lot of people, Nick Martinez kind of turned things around from obviously having 2 of the worst spring training starts I think I've ever seen in existence. He comes out and gives 6 innings, 2 earned, that 2 earned being the homer, 6 hits, 3 Ks, 88 pitches, 60 strikes. Griffin Jacks, 1 inning out of the pen, kind of turned that around, bounced back a little bit. Seymour got two outs there in the ninth, bringing his ERA down to a grand total of a 67.5. Obviously, being a reliever, things to get fluctuated like that. Nothing really worried there. Just glad he could bounce back, get a strikeout, don't give up any runs. Clevenger, 1 inning, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Have seen a little bit of an issue there with the walks with him early on in the season, but I'm sure he'll be fine with a good bounce back there. But the things that kind of stand out to me the most is Ben Williamson has had a great start to this year. Obviously, Taylor Walls and Gavin Lux are on the IL to start the season. So we've kind of been curious to how we're going to see Ben Williamson and Carson Williams perform. Carson Williams has had a little bit down start. He's hitting 200 with a 257 slugging percentage. But Ben Williamson has just performed to a great level of what he was more of kind of that utility defensive infielder coming into it, but he's brought the bat with him to start the season. So I'm really excited to kind of see how he continues to do. Yanni Diaz is obviously one of the best hitters in baseball. He's got a 1300 OPS right now. He's just going to continue to do what he does every single year, and arguably he gets better and better every season. Simpson's hitting 400, which is just normal on pace for him. But another big kind of shocker for me is Johnny DeLuca with what he's done. He's hitting 417 after going 2 for 3 today with a homer. Granted, it's small sample size. It's 4 games, but I am extremely impressed what I've seen from DeLuca, what I've seen from Williamson, and even what I've seen from Nick Fortes, who I've been in on him since the start of spring training. I think he's the answer over Fiducia for this season, just for the bulk of the innings. And he's performed well at the plate, and that's kind of just been the question mark for the Rays catchers over the past couple seasons is can any of them hit? And if he can continue doing what he's doing with this, I think the sky's the limit. And this lineup, I saw a graphic the other day or yesterday with the total amount of singles. The Rays have like 53 in 4 games. Or I think this was before the game today. So in 3 games, or it might have been like 38. I think it was 30, not 53. I think it was like 38 singles in 3 games, which that is a good and a bad thing because that means you're getting hits and you're getting on base and you're scoring runs, but it's only coming one base at a time. So that kind of just takes away from the slugging and the doubles and long balls and things like that. But just putting the ball in play and getting on base is what you really want. And you kind of seen that over the first couple of games, especially in that St. Louis series. We were putting up a decent amount of runs each game. And kind of today, just slugging out a game when you have the question mark of the rotation kind of in there and Nick Martinez, and he goes out and gives you six innings with 2 earned and just kind of bounces back completely from what he's looked like all spring. So I think that it's a good start. 2-2 with a win over the Brewers. I think it's a great start. Obviously, I would have loved to won that series in St. Louis, just based on how St. Louis has been. But granted, they gave away 2 games that series. I mean, you're up 5-4 in the 10th inning. Granted, you get the runner that starts on second base, so it gets a little more difficult there. But you have a game that you can win on Saturday, opening day on Thursday. You're up 7-1 in the 6th inning, and that's a game you should win. And I don't know if it's necessarily a Kevin Cash issue with kind of just how he manages things and how he does his bullpen, but arguably Seymour shouldn't have given up 5 runs without recording it out. Like Kevin Cash can't kind of control. He can control who he puts in the game, but he can't control how they perform at the end of the day. So do I think that Seymour was being the first option out? I don't necessarily hate it. Granted, you're up 6 runs in the 6th inning. So it's one of those things where you can kind of gamble a little bit with it. And at that point, just him having that just disastrous outing, it happens. It's baseball. And you can't necessarily kind of foresee that happening. And granted, you're not going to bring in Griffin Jacks or Garrett Clevenger when you're up 6 runs in the 6th inning opening day. You're not going to do that. And so I do think that the Seymour move there wasn't necessarily the craziest thing. But I think that he's constructed the lineups very well over the first couple of games. And I am excited to see what this lineup can continue to do. Because if Diaz can hit the way he's hitting, Fortes can continue to hit the way he is, DeLuca, and if just Simpson just getting on base, if you can just see the pieces in Carson Williams and Cedric Mullins kind of just form everything together, Aranda's going to hit. He's all-star caliber player. If you can just get those pieces in between, and Junior's not even the ones being the standout player right now. And if he can get into swing and get into motion things, I think the sky's the limit with this lineup. And I'm really excited to kind of see how they play out come in the next coming games as well. But you guys let me know what you guys think about the opening weekend and kind of how things have gone for us and what you think about Kevin Cash's decisions as well as what you think about the lineup and kind of how the pitching rotation has kind of come to fruition. Shane McClanahan has a start today. Really excited to see that. But you guys let me know what you guys think, and you guys have a good one.